is In the Know for Monday, June 5, the 156th day of 2023. There are 209 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We will also give you a chance to win with the water cooler question. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Is that a fresh new auto mani-pedi I see over there?
Yeah, it
So
is.
if an autobiography is your biography that you write about yourself, an auto mani-pedi is a manicure pedicure you give to yourself. And
Yeah, they were overdue.
so you're still drying?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I had, like garden nails, so.
Garden nail. Yeah, that makes
It's like, have you seen
sense.
on Facebook, the garden nails? So instead of the French tips, it's the dirty tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had that. Splinters as well.
Oh,
and
yeah. I
got
think they finally worked themselves out.
That's good. It's a
Yay.
good thing to finally get to that point. All right. Well, he is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newswalk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. Sam Gormley and the Sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Busy weekend. Big weekend in the community. Big concert on Saturday. A lot of people showed out for that and then listened to LV Shane and Kyle Whitaker. It was a little hot. It was a little warm.
A little warm.
Saturday afternoon. You start a show at like 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. In August, you might expect it to be 90-something degrees, but in June, you don't really expect it to be 90 degrees at 4 o'clock.
At least
on
it
a
wasn't
Saturday
raining, though,
afternoon.
like the last time that they
That's-
played when Sawyer Brown was here.
That's true. When they got moved to the
high school.
to the high school, were there any LV sightings? Do you have any LV sightings throughout the community on Saturday?
You know, I heard a couple people saw him around.
Really? Okay. Not just people that were not just at the show. Like there were
Correct.
some sightings elsewhere.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's very, very good. I want to tell you a little bit. Speaking of it being hot over the weekend, they're going to continue to be warm. Today, we do see the chances of the forecast, chances of a rain shower sneak back in, but it's not until now Wednesday. Thursday or so, we said that the Tuesday was going to be the greatest chance of rain, but now a 40% chance on Wednesday, so maybe a midweek shower. 10% today, but 88 today, 88 tomorrow, 79 on Wednesday, 81 on Thursday, and so we'll end the week with sunny and warm but not hot. I will say 90 degrees or 89 or 88 or wherever you got to. At least it was not humid over the last few days. That humidity that we normally get in late July and August has been absent so far with our warmer temperatures. So it really hasn't been hard to bear so far. It's just been warm like you would expect for the summer season to be. Also, with the start of a new week, want to tell you that maintenance work is going to require full closure of Kentucky 736 this week, just north and east of the intersection with 54. If you live in that area, you need to know that crews will be replacing a large drain pipe below the road surface. The closure will only be available from Kentucky 79 in. So 736 is only available from the 79 side. And otherwise, the work should be complete by the end of the week. So just trying to make things better, but don't want you to roll up on that and go, hey, why is the road closed? I saw more asphalt headed for the interchange in Clarkson this morning. So that's
Yeah,
good.
I drove in that area for the first time in a couple of weeks, and they have been. It's amazing how much work they can get done.
Well,
And it's just all of how different it's going to look.
did it smell like asphalt?
My windows were up, so I didn't take a whiff.
Oh, asphalt's so strong it can usually even
yeah,
permeate
it's
the
not.
cabin of your
I don't
car.
usually stick my nose out the window and start huffing as I'm driving down the parkway.
Suit yourself. A huge fire destroyed a mobile home in Big Clifty. The East Grayson and Clarkson fire departments responded to the blaze. This happened Friday morning, about 10 after 5 in the 5600 block of Spurrier Road. Firefighters found a right side of a mobile home on fire. The lone male occupant of the trailer made it out safely. They were on scene for about 2.5 hours, conducting an overhaul and extinguishing the fire. They cleared the scene about 7, and apparently flames kind of burst back up after they were gone, but they are still unsure how the fire began. No injuries were reported, and kind of wrapped that up by about mid-morning on Friday. So that's a local story to tell you about, but a couple of the national headlines that kind of got my attention. People in the Washington, D.C. area were startled yesterday at a couple of sonic booms. They weren't quite sure what that was, but as it turns out, they were F-15 scrambling because of an unresponsive small plane over the D.C. area and later crashed in Virginia. So this was a Cessna, I think 510. It's described as a business class jet where it's like 8 to 12 people, and pretty sophisticated aircraft. But it was a pilot, woman, her 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old's nanny took off from what they call Elizabethton, Tennessee, and the Tri-Cities area of Tennessee. They don't call it Elizabethtown. They call it Elizabethton, even though it's spelled the same way as we spell ours. And they were headed for New York. And when they got near New York, for whatever reason, the plane did a U-turn and then flew back over into restricted airspace there in Northern Virginia along the D.C. corridor. And they weren't sure because the aircraft was unresponsive. So there were no sign of survivors at the crash scene. And the military insisted that they did not shoot it down. So for whatever reason, hypoxia or something happened. They were cruising at about 34,000 feet. And for whatever reason, just became unresponsive and plane crashed. So
That's terrible.
Terrible
That
to
is
hear. Hearing we're going to get more Republican candidates into the presidential race this week. Probably going to get Chris Christie, probably going to get Mike Pence into the race this week. This has been an interesting week of it's not an overly crowded field yet. Nikki Haley had a town hall on CNN yesterday and kind of gave voters an opportunity to learn her. But you're seeing for the first time Ron DeSantis is sort of attacking Trump from the right on some things, saying that this is not the same person that we knew in 2015 and 2016, et cetera, et cetera. I also, as a point, I heard Ron DeSantis say his name was DeSantis. Like we're all saying DeSantis, but with the emphasis on the D, like Hernando de Soto. So D-E and then capital S. So I don't know. I'm just probably calling
It's not DeSanctimonious?
not and not. He even shortcutted DeSanctimonious. He's now just been nicknaming him DeSancto. So I'm thinking, okay, all right. So going to get interesting. It could also get interesting at the gas pump. Saudi Arabia is slashing their oil supply, which could mean higher gas prices for U.S. drivers. I want to tell you, it's unbelievable the difference between how expensive gasoline is in the Bowling Green area compared to Litchfield and Elizabethtown. Like it is probably 30 cents cheaper a gallon in Litchfield and Elizabethtown than it is in Warren County.
And what's wild is it's usually a little bit cheaper in Elizabethtown than it is here.
Mm-hmm. And it's been pretty much on par. Depending upon where you are, if you're close to the Parkway, it might be a little bit higher, or if you're in a remote area where they do less volume, it's a little bit higher. But generally, your high volume stations at busy intersections are kind of on par right now. But anyway, so just be prepared for perhaps to pay more at the pump because the global supply appears to perhaps going to be shrinking. I do know that this debt ceiling deal that Congress passed last week, there is some type of pipeline mechanism in that, and I don't know if that's independence of American Oil being able to tap
It's
back
in
into
West Virginia,
procedures.
though, I think.
It is in West Virginia. So
Yes, I think so, which isn't necessarily, I think, a place that I know of being an oil producer.
Yeah, well, I don't know any much about the vast oil fields of West Virginia. I do know their baseball team stinks, but we'll get to that in a moment. Churchill Downs will suspend racing operations on Wednesday, and we said last week they were going to suspend racing operations, which we thought, okay, into the spring meet. Well, they scrambled, came up with a plan where they will move the remainder of the spring meet to Ellis Park in Henderson while they conduct a top-to-bottom review of safety and surface protocols in the wake of a dozen horse fatalities the past month at the home of the Kentucky Derby. No single factor has been identified as a potential cause for the fatalities or pattern detected, but the decision was made to relocate the meet in an abundance of caution. It's good for Ellis Park, too. I mean, I know they run Ellis Park in the summer, but that's more of a, people... they're less interested in going to Ellis Park. Your people in that region go once a year because it's tradition, but moving the rest of the spring meet down there, you're moving the trainers, you're moving the jockeys, you're moving the horses. It's good for Henderson.
I'm interested as to why they picked them, because I know they own, I don't know if they own the one in Franklin, but I know they own Turfway Park in Northern Kentucky. I'm curious why Henderson was the pick and why not Northern Kentucky.
I think it's as simple as the summer meet at Henderson. This will just roll into that. They were going to be moving to Henderson at the end of the Churchill Downs meet anyway, and I think they're just making the move earlier rather than later. That would be my guess. I certainly
Ellis
don't know
Park's
that.
the one that's on the other side of the river, right?
Yeah, it's in Kentucky, but on the north side of the Ohio River.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a marvel. It doesn't happen in too many places, thanks to the river flowing backward, as a result of an earthquake. That the Ohio River reshaped itself, and it caused Ellis Park and that portion of Henderson to be north of the Ohio River. Spoken like a former resident of the area. Huh?
I was going to say, look at you, Mr. Historian.
Well, I mean, it is kind of odd. You cross the river and you're still in Kentucky. It's not really supposed to work that way. Speaking of horse racing, Forte, the Derby favorite, who was scratched the morning of the race because of a foot injury, has had his final workout for next weekend's $1.5 million Belmont Stakes. With jockey Irad Ortiz Jr. riding, Forte went 5 furlongs in 59.67 over a fast main track at Belmont Park. So they will, he said it was a super good breeze, and we don't really care about the Belmont at this point. We're not, Triple Crown's not intact, so big whoop.
I couldn't have even told you it was this Saturday.
I knew it had to be. Basically, they've got them spaced out, from Derby Day to Belmont now. It's longer than it used to be, but you knew that it was on the horizon.
And even you knew that Mage, you knew it really wasn't going to be a Triple Crown horse. I didn't even care about the Preakness.
You were anxious to see if it would be, but you knew it was a long shot. So unlikely. Big weekend in Lexington on multiple fronts. Railbird. A lot of high school championships being played over the weekend, but the UK baseball team hosting the NCAA regional. Kentucky blanked West Virginia 10-0 later in the weekend. That was early yesterday.
I heard they had some stiff backs, West Virginia, so they...
Yeah, it's those $4,000 mattresses they were sleeping on weren't quite good for their back. So they sent the Mountaineers... Mm-hmm. Back to West Virginia with
drove their country roads back.
A 10-0 victory, and then that set up. Cats lost to Indiana 5-3 on Sunday, so then that set the Cats up for a rematch with Indiana last night, where they forced a final game for today. They beat Indiana 16-6. So yesterday alone, Kentucky scored 26 runs in 2 games while allowing 6. And so the game is at, 5 o'clock today?
Yeah, 6 Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. And the interesting thing is that they got hit by 9 pitches in the nightcap of yesterday's game.
One guy got hit 3 times?
2 guys, I think,
Two guys got hit
3 times. And then after the game, there was a little, I don't even know if you can call it a kerfuffle.
Yeah, what was that? Mingione, he didn't like something that Indiana had done.
I think Mingione probably said something to Indiana's coach, and Indiana's coach said something to him, and then next thing you know, Mitch Barnhart's out there in the middle of it with a you got to button the top button.
He's looking all serious and professional.
I was wanting to see Mitch throw hands.
Oh yeah. Brett Butler competed at the last weekend's Kentucky middle school state championship at Eastern High School. That's a middle school competition. He took part in the 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, also in the pole vault. He finished in the top 28 of the massive fields. He's a rising freshman, now expected to join a young, strong high school track team, which also sent 3 to the state track competition over the weekend. Do we know anything about their results?
Listen, when you make it to at that point, you're running up against some really, really good
Sure.
talent, and they all performed well.
Very good. Last night, the Miami Heat performed well. The Heat roared back to take Game 2 and now have tied the NBA Finals with the Denver Nuggets at 1-1. So looks like we've got a competitive
this
series
picture,
in
too?
store. You like Bam going to the rack there?
Well, I just love that this is clearly a robotic, it's a robot or something taking this picture. Well, somebody's probably running it, but it's clearly like somebody is controlling a robot to angle it the right way and take it.
Yeah, get it exactly right. Yeah, it's quite a dramatic photo. So the Heat and Nuggets series tied at 1. So what? They'll take the day off and then
2 or 3 days off because they take a couple of days off.
Play on Wednesday again or something like that. So there you go. They're big headlines from the weekend. We're gonna get you caught up, and we got more on the way coming up here on In the Know.
Owensboro Health offers excellent care for your entire family. Close to home in Grayson County with locations in Litchfield, Big Clifty, and Caneyville. Our primary care providers are experts in managing high blood pressure, diabetes, and other chronic conditions, so you can stay healthy and feel your best. Make an appointment today with one of our primary care providers at owensborohealth.org/primary care.
If you're the average person, you only think about income taxes from January to April. But the choices you make 12 months a year have a big impact on your tax return preparation and even your refund. Making adjustments to your financial matters during tax filing season is like trying to lose weight during a routine doctor visit. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart work year-round to advise clients on important financial decisions so that during tax filing season, you're carrying a lot less stress and worry. Join the Peace of Mind team with Buckles, Travis & Hart, 270-259-5604. Or GraysonCPAs.com.
Litchfield Tourism presents gospel music on East Main. Join Darren Whiteley and the Edwards family as they welcome Eternal Vision.
Everybody will be happy.
And the Roar. Friday, June 16th at 7 p.m. on East Main Street in Litchfield. Free gospel concert sponsored by Litchfield Tourism, featuring Eternal Vision.
You just call on me, brother. Yeah.
Friday, June 16th at 7 p.m. on East Main Street in Litchfield.
Buy one, get one for $1 at McDonald's. Or as we like to call it, the can't have just one deal. Mix and match a tasty McDouble sandwich, McChicken, savory 6-piece chicken McNuggets, small fries, or, for a limited time, any size frozen drink. Buy one, get one for $1. Now try flavors like frozen Coca-Cola, Fanta Blue Raspberry, or Fanta Wild Cherry. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
At Holiday World and Splash and Safari, sometimes free takes a little convincing, especially with dads.
Free parking? That's how they get you.
They're just naturally suspicious of free stuff. Free soft drinks!
Whoa. That's how they get you.
But after a day of fun on the world's longest water coasters and our 400-drone light show, dads come around. At Holiday World, we get you. We're just not out to get you. That's why there's
free soft drinks, free parking, free sunscreen.
Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is showing off something new. He unveiled the latest version of the Facebook parent company's virtual reality headset last week. The Meta Quest 3 will be 40% thinner and have updated resolution and displays. In a video on social media, Zuckerberg said it's expected to start at $499 when it goes on sale this fall. People have been speculating about Apple's entry into the world of virtual and augmented reality headsets for the better part of a decade, but it's increasingly looking as though 2023 might be the year that the company might finally announce and release a device into the world. Specifically, according to The Verge, the prediction is that the company will debut its headset at its Worldwide Developers Conference this month. And Meta says it's going to block news on Facebook for California users if a bill becomes law. The bipartisan California Journalism Preservation Act would require big tech platforms to pay publishers for the news that they host. The measure is headed to the state Senate after passage in the Assembly. Check report, Mark Mayfield.
Today is Hot Air Balloon Day. It's Gingerbread Day. It is Apple II Day, celebrating this day in 1977 when the Apple II computer was released.
Did you ever have one of those?
I did not. What Apple do you have? You got
I'm not sure.
You got an
Do you
older
still have
Apple.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's on
Yeah.
the shelf.
It's on the top of my bookshelf.
Saw it recently. It had a whopping 4 kilobytes of RAM. You could upgrade it to 48 kilobytes of RAM.
Listen, it's a hoss. Like, it is so heavy. I was a little scared.
And
putting
you
it
could
up
probably
there.
put all of your Apple products that you have now, and it wouldn't even come close to the weight of.
Absolutely not.
No,
Mm-mm.
all the Apple products I've ever owned would not weigh what that thing weighed.
I mean, it probably weighs as much as a Leia, or that's what it feels like when I hoist it
feels
up
like
there.
They're about the same density.
Ooh.
Attitude Day. So your attitude is more important than the attitude of someone else. You can control yours. You can't control the others. So attitudes are contagious. So is yours worth catching? That's a good question. It's also a day we want to say congratulations and thanks for having us too. We began our weekend in Louisville for the wedding of the now Mr. and Mrs. Patrick and Madison McDonald. So I got to spend the weekend with the early weekend with the Thomas family and the extended and the Embry family. And so anyway, it was a beautiful ceremony and enjoyed catching up and seeing everyone. And rugs were cut.
Yes.
Let's just
By you?
Let's just I did a little toe tapping. I had a knee injury.
Is that what they say these days?
Yeah, that was I was using that as an excuse. For
You didn't want to.
I would love to tell
show
this story.
You don't want to show up everyone while you're there.
It really was. It's about the bride and the groom. It's really not about me, and I just didn't want to be the center of attention.
Or the bride's mother and her really, really good friend who had practiced a little bit.
The mother of the bride was throwing down pretty
Yes,
good.
she
so-
was.
Did you leave the cardboard at home? Is that the biggest issue?
Oh
A
no!
whole
There
piece
is
of
a
cardboard.
a legendary breakdancer that did get out on the. I'm not going to call him by name, but I had to give him an old fist bump. I said I haven't seen that in like 35 years.
Rhyme with Layson?
It was so good.
No.
No, it doesn't. Oh,
One syllable.
Yep. So it was good.
3
Anyway,
letters?
thanks. It was. Seriously, it's weddings are always beautiful,
Yes.
but they're even more beautiful when you love the people involved. So anyway, it was good.
Yeah, it was great.
I did text Jason on Thursday, and I said, "Tomorrow's your big day," and he said, "Nope." He said, "I just got to walk 100 feet and hand her off." I said, "Oh no, that's what they don't bother to tell you. Nobody pays attention to the bride when they go down the aisle. Everybody's looking at father of the bride." So he thought that was pretty funny.
And
Anyway,
he was precious. He really was. I mean, if you know Jason very well, you don't always know what to expect out of him emotionally wise, but he was very, very sweet.
he could have easily done something very funny.
Yes.
But he
yes.
played it straight up
He did
and realized
great.
that was
Yes.
it was her day and not his. So here are a list of mishaps people endure in modern society. Little faux pas, little weird things that happen that we try and avoid. Number 20, ordered the wrong thing in a restaurant by accident. Ooh, terrible. Dropped your book in the bath while reading. It's better than dropping your iPad in the bath while reading.
That is true.
You dropped a book in the bath?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
can't say I've had that problem either.
I mean,
Bought the wrong ingredients for a meal and had to make something else for dinner.
I guess in that same realm is forgetting one ingredient and having to
yeah,
go get
and
it.
It's necessary.
Yeah, or thinking you had it and then you didn't. It's like, I got to run to the store. Put the wrong destination in the car's satellite navigation.
Can't say I've done that.
Well, now I've had the navigation not be the correct information, but it's not because I entered the wrong destination. Forgot to connect your headphones so everyone could hear your music. Sometimes you don't get that Bluetooth connection immediately, and you go to turn your device up, and whatever's playing, like, this is not coming through my ears. I was like, oh, it's because it's coming through the speaker. Let an insurance policy automatically renew without realizing. Is that a thing? I've not lived enough life for that to happen.
Yes, you have.
It automatically renewed?
What did it specify? What type of insurance?
No.
I mean, like
Yes.
my car insurance does it automatically, but frankly, I don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah, I thought for me that count was for the intended outcome until I say otherwise. Accidentally sat on the TV remote control and missed a key moment on live TV. Now I didn't sit on it, but I have accidentally bumped the remote control and it changed to the other channel, like hit previous channel and went back. It's like, I missed what was on there.
Luckily, now that you got TiVo, though, you can rewind it.
Diver.
Bought a piece of furniture for the house, but didn't check the dimensions, and it was a lot smaller or larger than you thought.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does.
Forgot about plans and didn't show up to an event. Forgot to cancel subscriptions you never use. Tried to unlock your car before realizing it was someone else's vehicle. I don't think I've ever seen that, but it's extremely funny to me when...
And people do it more frequently, according to them and social media, than you think. I don't.
I've like forgotten where I've parked. Well, not necessarily forgotten, but gone down an aisle and been like, I thought I parked on this aisle, and then you look over and there, it's on that side.
It does strike me as funny, the people that you see them out in the parking lot with their fob over their head, trying to make their car make sound. They can find it.
Mm.
Had your phone go off in a place where it should have been on silent. It doesn't happen to me.
Mine's almost always on silent.
Yeah, mine is always on
I don't think
silent.
I've ever.
It's on silent because of this hour every day, and so it just stays there. But if it weren't for my watch, I wouldn't be able to live like that.
I always appreciate that even though people know that this hour, you will still get your phone calls sometimes.
Yeah, there are people. There are
and
people.
sometimes people that definitely know you're on the
I
air.
know, right?
Yeah,
I'm
and
amazed.
it's like
I'm like,
get aggravated.
hello.
Listen,
Like
it's
Dennis
know what I
Cook is
do.
calling you right now.
been the same for,
A long time.
12 years. It's been the same. It hasn't changed. Put a laundry load on for a wash and forgot to add detergent.
Yeah, I probably have done.
Now I've forgotten that I've put it in the washer and left it there.
And then it stinks.
How about I forgot to put a pod in the Keurig and just ran water through it,
Or
with creamer.
forgot
and
to put the cup under
Splenda.
there. That's a bigger.
That's happened. I know it's happened to me once. I know it's happened to you once, hasn't it, hon?
Yes.
Forgot about a meal that you were cooking and it spoiled. Washed clothes and accidentally turned them a different color. Washed clothes and actually shrunk them. These are getting worse. So the top three are got on the wrong train or bus. Not happened. Number 2, mistook a stranger for someone you knew and greeted them.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Facebook's awful because of that. And now it's also reverse. Like you see someone on Facebook, and you see them commonly, or it could be Instagram, it could be Twitter, it could be whatever. And then you're out in the wild and you see them and you think, is that the same person?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like and then they're looking at you and you're looking at them like, are we real? Are we real in public? Say hello, friends, or are we just one of the 2,000 Facebook friends that I happen to see?
I'm just really careful not to say names, which, in my defense, I don't usually remember names that well. But a face,
you.
I rarely forget.
How you doing?
Hey, buckaroo.
Yeah. Well, and it's really awkward when you're trying to introduce your husband to someone and you just don't know their name.
Yeah.
Your husband's name?
Hey,
Or
hey pal.
The other person.
Hey, pal. How are you all? So, how are you all? Yeah, it's going to be everybody.
Sometimes I just admit it.
You do.
I do.
See,
right?
you're not afraid to admit it.
I'm not afraid.
I'm committed.
The go-to line that I learned was you say, "What's your name again?" And if they say it's Sam, be like, "Oh no, I meant your last name."
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But then they'll be like, "Meh."
We were at an event, and I just had to straight up, I am so sorry. I cannot remember your name.
Yeah, take the blame. Yeah, so that's the easiest way. If you take the blame and be like, because you don't want to give them the impression that they're not memorable. And like, oh, you're easily forgotten.
Well, and sometimes, like in that situation, it's easier because I have grown up since these people have, so it's extended family, like extended family. And I've grown up, a lot since they've seen me. So I kind of get a little bit of a pass because they're like, oh, well, she was little.
For me not being from here, I've gotten better now. is at games especially, I'll have parents that'll come up to me like, man, didn't my boy played well tonight?
Yes.
And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I have not a clue who your boy is, but yeah, they were great.
Before we get to number one, too, I would like to say, and kind of like to circle back real quick on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. Some of you all are not representing yourselves accurately online. So I really shouldn't be penalized if I don't recognize you in the wild.
Right.
Because you've really sold me a bad bill of goods.
That's exactly right. And there are times that I want to put on mine no filter. I do not use filters, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But listen, I know some of you people out there are using maybe like 3 layers of filters.
Yeah.
You do you. That's what I say.
Yeah,
You
and
do
that's
you.
great. But if you expect me to know you in the wild,
And the number one mishap in modern society, sent a text to the wrong person.
oh yeah,
Everyone's done that. Luckily now the iPhone has the unsent message.
Yeah.
You can do that real quick. But then it does give them the
yes.
they unsent a message, but that's when you could just easily go with the whole, sorry, I didn't mean to send that to you.
Well, yeah, because I so called my aunt out on that.
Did
And
she unsend a message?
She did, and she fessed up that she changed her mind, that what she sent may have been a little bit negative.
I have not used the undo send option.
Nor have I.
And I have sent a text to the person unintended, but it's never been anything where you thought, oh, I'm sorry they saw that, or
Yeah.
I have never sent a message intended for you to someone else.
But I have received messages intended like to Kevin Henderson's a good example, and I've received his sometimes. I'm like, I don't think this is.
That's true.
Yeah.
That
I don't
has
think
happened.
this one is for me.
So those are the mishaps we're trying to avoid. I also ran across this, which was kind of interesting. The 15, and we probably won't cover all 15, but 15 exact moments people realized they were dating total idiots.
So Dayton Lloyd?
Yep, Dane Lloyd. Any relationship that has ended, there was possibly a moment where you went, not going to work, right? Something happened. It was not necessarily hygiene. It was not necessarily what your relationship with soap and water. It was not your, all those things. But these were things where you go, whoa, we're not playing with a full deck here. And so number one was, do you smell gas? And if you ever smell gas in your home, you probably know it's time to hop off the couch and ensure your stove is off to keep everyone safe. But some people don't understand the danger of a gas leak in the home. One person said they realized their partner was an idiot on the night I said I thought I smelled gas, and they grabbed a lighter and struck it without hesitation. Here's your sign.
Oh my.
Oh, I mean, he could have taken that a different way as well.
Number 2, magic credit cards. While credit cards are confusing, even the most financially illiterate people tend to know how you eventually have to pay for your purchase. However, one person's ex had no idea and thought her credit card's monthly limit was free money and she could spend on whatever she wanted without paying it back. Available credit, available funds.
Wow.
During a discussion about dinosaurs, one woman realized her ex wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Her boyfriend at the time was shocked when she told him dinosaurs were real creatures that went extinct millions of years ago. Then he proceeded to ask me if they really breathed fire. He thought dinosaurs and dragons were the same thing.
Well, we don't know that they weren't, I guess, right? You've seen Game of Thrones.
But they're not dinosaurs, they're dragons.
Well,
in
is a
Game of
dragon a
Thrones.
dinosaur?
No, it's not. Apples grow on trees. Blueberries grow on bushes. Grapes grow on vines. But one person's ex wanted to know where they grow spaghetti.
Listen, you've got major
Trees.
problems.
Staying hydrated is essential, so knowing how to consume water is imperative to survival. I'm not sure how this next person made it through the first few years of his life. He believed that every time he showered, he would absorb the water through his skin, which to him meant that it wasn't necessary to ever drink water.
Oh, my goodness.
One woman shares a story on the thread about an ex who would bang on my dashboard and scream the name of a certain restaurant whenever I drove past it. After startling and almost crashing the car a couple of times, she asked him why on earth he behaved in such a manner, and he said, "It's my thing." and she never let him back in the vehicle.
Yeah,
and was like,
I mean,
"Okay, this is over."
That's at least not him. I mean, that's not being stupid. That's more of just being annoying, I guess.
An ex once sincerely asked, "Do people who speak other languages think in English?"
I don't even.
Do people who speak other languages think in English? That was the question.
Yeah, I know, but in my mind,
I can't even break it down to
Yeah.
you. Like if you ask that, I'm
Yeah.
not really. I can't do it.
I'm gonna be like the girl. I'm gonna need you out of my vehicle.
This person said, "While I prefer whipping up some homemade batter, pancake mix from a box can make some pretty delicious pancakes. That's if you follow the instructions laid out plainly on the back of the box, but some people don't understand how cooking works. Like one man who poured the dry powder from the box directly into the hot pan and expected pancakes to appear like magic."
I love it. Now that you might get a pass on from me.
I was gonna say I could see somebody that hasn't learned to cook.
Right. So I have a friend, whatever, that she attempted to cook for her significant other for the first time. Mm-hmm. And so somebody told her that Hamburger Helper was like one of the easiest things to do. So she didn't drain the hamburger meat. And this poor guy ate it anyway. They're now married.
Well,
I know, right?
Some greasy.
Yes. And
Yeah.
he didn't say anything. She didn't know until like years later that you weren't supposed to do that.
ALS is a serious neurological condition that gained more visibility when it was named after a famous baseball player, Lou Gehrig, after his death from an illness, but some people don't know how to make the connection between Gehrig and the disease. One commenter said that her date was shocked that Lou Gehrig died of something called Lou Gehrig's disease. I think that was the...
Bless
They
it.
said, what are the chances of that?
Oh.
Well,
Oh, my.
so, there's a 1 in 1 chance of
I
that.
love it.
So, that's fine. So if you're dating any of those people, you might want to reevaluate. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Your chance to win. The water cooler question is ahead here on In the Know.
Living in your ideal home, or is it still a dream? Future Designs Building Materials can help you turn your dreams into reality with atrium windows that will make the sun look brighter, roofing material that will keep your home protected year-round, and decking material for that perfect barbecue setting. Now is the perfect time to get your home improvement project off the ground. Got questions? Future Designs Building Materials can help with all your lumber and home improvement questions. Visit Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield or fdbm.net.
Your choice of lifestyle directly affects your health. And while there are many complex factors surrounding your lifestyle, sometimes the simple truth is that you just need to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know you and your lifestyle so we can provide sound advice on ways to improve your overall health. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or overcome that untimely sickness, remember, at Midway Pharmacy.
Maybe you're not one of those frequent flyers, but sometimes you just want to hit the beach or see your new granddaughter or go to that out-of-state wedding. Whatever the reason for your getaway, if it involves flying in the U.S. or visiting a military base after May 7th, 2025, you'll need a Kentucky Real ID driver's license or an ID that is Real ID compliant. Make a plan to get your Kentucky Real ID now. Go to realidky.com.
If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that our children's health is vitally important. Today we're talking to Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman about K-CHIP, the Kentucky Children's Health Insurance Program.
K-CHIP is health insurance at no cost for kids up to age 19 who meet eligibility. It's designed to make sure no one falls through the cracks because our future depends on our kids and we must keep them healthy.
You mentioned that it's $0 for those who are eligible. How does a family qualify?
Those who qualify must meet income guidelines, but the guidelines are generous. We say if your family income is less than $60,000 or $70,000 a year, look into K-CHIP. You may qualify.
Lieutenant Governor, you've been a teacher, a basketball coach, and you're a mother, so it's easy to see why K-CHIP is so important to you.
That's right. Children have always been a big part of my life, and K-CHIP is designed to make sure all kids have health insurance.
To find out more, just search K-CHIP online. That's KCHIP.
This is Kentucky, where the only thing ordinary is the unexpected.
I got everything you need.
Horse country, legendary distilleries, rivers to paddle, lakes to splash and relax, big city vibes and small town charms. This is Kentucky. Come see for yourself. Plan your road trip at KentuckyTourism.com.
I got everything you need.
This Father's Day, find the perfect gift for the dad who loves the perfect yard. From steel chainsaws and blowers to trimmers and edgers, you'll find gas-powered tools that Dad is sure to love. Visit your local steel dealer and save $30 on the FS56 RCE trimmer. Real STIHL. Find yours at STIHLdealers.com. Offer valid for a limited time at participating dealers while supplies last.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather.
We'll see some clouds overhead for the afternoon, but still plenty of sunshine to help us to warm into the 80s for highs. An air quality alert is in place until midnight tonight for the Louisville metro area. Those with breathing ailments are advised to limit their outdoor time. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds, highs back into the 80s. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Hey, it's Sam. Come and kick off summer with me on Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Litchfield Aquatic Center on the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.
Did you know if you're average, you'll flex your finger joints 25 million times in your lifetime? Average person
That's
flexes their finger joints.
Should I pull the goose count?
25 million.
Goose count.
Some smart person extrapolated the math out and came up with that figure, and it's up to you to disprove it, Sam. You can set about your own scientific study to disprove the theory.
I've got enough things on the plate.
Here's today's water cooler question. Your chance to win. What did we do?
We did Beach Bend.
We did Beach Bend last. So today's Holiday World. Your chance to win Holiday World tickets by texting the answer to 270-259-6000. All the correct answers will be entered into a drawing at the end of the show. So text your correct answer, or text your answer, your guess, to 270-259-6000. 6 in 10 of us say technology has made us worse at remembering this. 6 in 10 say technology has made us worse at remembering this.
And just a friendly reminder, you cannot win in the last 30 days, although we just started playing last week, and it's limited to your household.
Text the answer to 270-259-6000. 6,000. Sam doesn't seem to be coming to Sam quickly, so I'm going to give Sam a little think music.
There we go.
I think mine is more than 6 in 10.
Yeah, see, the first one that came to my mind was
6 and 10 of us.
Are you in the 6 and 10? Yeah, that's the same one I had. Are you in the 6 and 10, or are you in the 4 and 10?
Yeah, 6 and
he has a crazy memory though.
I'm four and 10. I am 4 and 10, with exceptions, and I'll explain that later. The weekend box office Across the Spider-Verse soars in its debut. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse does $120 million. Little Mermaid, about $41 million, so not a bad weekend. The Boogeyman at $12 million, Guardians at $10 million, Fast 10 at $9.2 million. The Spider-Man, the debut of the 2018 animated original, did maybe a third of what this one did. So it has really done much better than what the original did.
I'm surprised that two Marvel movies in theaters at the same time, and Guardians didn't come out that long ago. I'm surprised they didn't try to space it out a little bit more.
So, Spider-Man is a Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians is a Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Disney owns Spider-Man.
Technically, yes. In the same realm that Disney owns Star Wars.
Okay. Well, I mean, Disney has a new Guardians attraction at Epcot, so I'm just trying to figure out. But I thought that Universal had a Spider-Man coaster or something, so that's why I'm trying.
They may have at one time, but I mean, because Disney only got Marvel in the last, I don't know.
Yeah, 5 years.
Around probably the same time that they got the Star Wars on their side.
They've had Star Wars for almost 10.
Yeah, so I bet it's about. Well, in fact, there's this great invention called the Google. I'll Google.
The only reason I know is it was suggested to me.
One of my favorite phrases: "If there were only a way to find out."
In fact, it pops up. When did 2009? So it's been a lot longer than that.
Okay. The Flash, Warner Brothers is going above and beyond to keep the ending a secret. So they have floated multiple versions out there to keep people guessing.
They're DC.
Yes.
Which is Yukon's favorite.
Wah.
Yeah, Yukon's a DC, but I think his boys are Marvel.
Barbie's production triggered a worldwide paint shortage of a particular shade of pink because they had to paint so much stuff on their set pink, the official Barbie pink color, that there was a shortage of the color pink. Not so much on the color purple. Hocus Pocus 3 in the works after they're making a new the color purple movie. Hocus Pocus 3 in the works after the sequel's success. So Hocus Pocus 2 was so long in coming after the original.
Wasn't it?
But Hocus Pocus 3 will come
though?
right after it.
I thought it was okay.
I've never seen the first or the second, so I really
I just heard
couldn't
a lot of people say that they were, I guess, maybe the hype, it didn't live up to the hype.
Well, I think that if you are a hardcore original Hocus Pocus fan and you are of that demographic, you know how sometimes I don't want a remake or a redo. I think that's probably the camp that the complainers were in.
Which is one of the reasons that IMDb had to create a workaround on Little Mermaid, because it was your purists that were going in and dogging the live action. Mm-hmm. When I think if you talk to your friends, you'll hear them say good things about the live action of Little Mermaid. And last week we told you about Kim Cattrall's return to And Just Like That. The Evan Handler, who is unofficial with the show, said that he called Kim Cattrall's cameo great, even if she had no contact with anybody. So she did her part, but there was no SJP reunion and Cynthia Nixon and all that. So kind of interesting that she did it. She's like, I'm not. So maybe the fences aren't exactly mended just yet, but there you go. All right, we'll figure out who the winner is today of the water cooler question. Plus, we'll have Point to Ponder, Chart Toppers, Pearl of Wisdom, and more coming up here on In the Know.
Look at her. She's a bad man.
Someone once told me that every parent should give their children two gifts: roots and wings. For most parents, roots are easy. We spend 18 years equipping our children with the skills they need to leave home and carve a path through life. But then comes the hard part, embracing the moment when our children grow wings and actually leave home. If you're struggling with being an empty nester, I want to encourage you to remember two things about this season of life. The first is that your sadness is a good thing. No, really, feeling sad indicates that you have a strong relationship with your children and that their absence matters to you. Just don't allow your sadness to become an obstacle that prevents your children from stepping forward in life. There's a big world out there, and it's time for them to get busy exploring what it has for them. Second, now that your children have begun this important first chapter of life, you can begin your second chapter. Ahead are fewer daily responsibilities, greater personal freedom, and the opportunity for you and your spouse to spend more one-on-one time together and rekindle your romance. The toughest challenge for empty nesters isn't adjusting to their children being gone. It's finding new purpose for their future. It's okay to grieve because your children have found their wings. But now, it's time for you to find yours. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
Recent bank failures serve as a warning about how fragile our banks really are. As millions of Americans panic, do you know what the central banks are doing? They've already made their decision. They're buying up gold at record levels. They're relying on it as a safe haven during these difficult times when they don't trust the dollar. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian author and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. We're all Americans who want to protect our family's savings no matter what. I tell people the best option is to diversify your 401k or IRA into physical gold or silver with the help of Birch Gold Group. To see how that works, just text the word HOPE to the number 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs. Look, there's no strings attached. So take the first step today and educate yourself. Get your free info kit when you text HOPE to 989898 right now, and I pray you and your family are blessed.
Cool off this summer at Litchfield Aquatic Center, featuring 2 3-story slides, or grab a tube and take a trip down the lazy river. There's separate tot and toddler pools with lots of great water features like fountains and slides. Plus there's even a lap lane. LAC is great for groups or individuals, and pavilion and facility rentals are available. Get a group of friends or the whole family together and spend an entire day at the Litchfield Aquatic Center on East Carroll Gibson Boulevard in Litchfield.
If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that our children's health is vitally important. Today, we're talking to Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman about K-CHIP, the Kentucky Children's Health Insurance Program.
K-CHIP is health insurance at no cost for kids up to age 19 who meet eligibility. It's designed to make sure no one falls through the cracks because our future depends on our kids, and we must keep them healthy.
You mentioned that it's $0 for those who are eligible. How does a family qualify?
Those who qualify must meet income guidelines, but the guidelines are generous. We say if your family income is less than $60,000 or $70,000 a year, look into K-CHIP. You may qualify.
Lieutenant Governor, you've been a teacher, a basketball coach, and you're a mother, so it's easy to see why K-CHIP is so important to you.
That's right. Children have always been a big part of my life, and K-CHIP is designed to make sure all kids have health insurance.
To find out more, just search K-CHIP online. That's KCHIP.
Chasing down a hoodoo there on the bayou, on the bayou, on the bayou.
EMB's point to ponder for today. What happened to red eye in pictures?
I mean, I think our devices automatically remove it.
Isn't that neat how they solved red eye and really didn't say too much about it?
No, and you didn't even really notice when it happened. You just know
Probably
that you didn't do it anymore.
Just camera quality has gotten so much better. I mean, like those new iPhones, it's unbelievable.
I'm not even sure what the phenomenon was that created it, but you know, in the early days of digital photography, whether it was, point and shoot cameras and then the early devices, there was red eye and everything is like a red eye correction, and they just built it into the camera, but no one ever noticed. No one ever said, you know what this doesn't do?
And
red eye.
sometimes it used to be really hard. It wasn't just a quick hit the red eye button and it was automatically gone. Back in the day, you had to manually touch the little pixel of red.
Mm-hmm. You certainly did.
Showing my age.
Water cooler question, the correct answer. 6 in 10 of us agree that technology has made us worse at remembering birthdays. 6 in 10 of us agree that technology has made us worse at remembering birthdays. You ask me, for me, if not. There's a top tier of people whose birthdays I'm going to remember no matter what. And then there's a next tier where, yes, I am remembering. I don't remember your birthday, but I was not going to remember your birthday anyway.
Do you remember my birthday?
So Facebook, it's in March.
I'm terrible.
Facebook now reminds me of birthdays that I was going to forget, but I'm not forgetting any of the birthdays that I was supposed to remember.
But then again, it's kind of funny. Those people that you get reminded of on Facebook it's like, do I really need to Are we close enough friends for me to need to send you the birthday message?
She kind of has a rule. She doesn't do any because she can't do all.
And it's not a bad. I'm bad about it too.
I don't know. I cannot do that every day. I'm sorry. So I kind of, at the beginning of the year, happy birthday to everybody.
Yeah, and then also you run into that situation where it's, the page hasn't been memorialized.
Oh, yeah.
And then their birthday
And you
comes
see
along.
people-
And I see people that I think, that don't know.
Yes.
It's like, it's insensitive. So I think there's just more potentially to.
Now, while I
Would
say
you
that, I did wish my daughter a happy 21st birthday, but that's totally different.
Individual post is fine.
Right.
That's I'm
This
talking
is-
about your stock.
Right.
Say
Or-
something on their
Right.
birthday. Say something on their birthday. That ends up in their feed.
Right.
278 people said so. All right.
1 to 29.
1 to 29. 21. You just mentioned the 21st birthday, so I'll say 21.
3013.
3013. Congratulations, 3013. Okay. You're going to Holiday World. We'll be in touch. American Ninja Warrior, the season 15 premiere on NBC tonight. Stars on Mars, the series premiere on Fox. I don't know what that is. On Fox, the season 2 premiere of Crime Scene Kitchen. And the game 2 of the NHL Finals, Florida at Las Vegas. Tonight.
I assume I know what the premise of Crime Scene Kitchen is, but it just sounds disgusting, doesn't it?
It does. By the way, 2 things. Alea and I were singing West Side Story tunes last evening. Why are you shaking your head?
Well, because, yes, I love that you do that with her. That's fantastic. I'm not a musical person, but it was at a time that I was like really, really focused and working on something. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, should I remove myself from this area?
Right.
Or
Yeah. I get it. But at least she wasn't over there in your business while you were doing
that
it.
is so very true.
So,
and I
the-
love that she wants to sing that.
And we made a hard segue from I Feel Pretty to don't touch this. It's not you can't touch this. It's don't touch this.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. So
And her moves are on point.
and I am all caught up on Ted Lasso. So I have seen the
what'd you think?
season finale. Perfect. Brilliant. The way they funneled it all into the finale, and then they took a trip. They took a stroll through the garden on the final, worked in a bunch of the, like, Diamond Dogs gets some love in there. Ussie gets some love.
I knew
in the
you were going to
final.
like that.
So I was like, it was perfect. So anyway, I won't say any more than that because a lot of people haven't seen it yet. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1968, Senator Robert F. Kennedy was shot and mortally wounded. You didn't ask what West Side Story song it was, Sam.
Powering through the...
Yeah, it looks like we got interrupted there.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. She came to me and asked to play that song,
Yes,
so
she
I
did.
didn't bring it up. In 1950, the U.S. Supreme Court in Henderson versus United States struck down racially segregated railroad dining cars. In 1976, 14 people were killed when the Teton Dam in Idaho burst. President Reagan died this date in 2004 at age 93. Birthdays today. Bill Hayes is 98. Bill Hayes is the Davy Crockett guy that had the hit in the 50s with Born on the Mountaintop. Don Reed from the Statler Brothers is 78. Kenny G is 67. Jeff Garland is 61. Brian McKnight is 54. Mark Wahlberg is 52. Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy is 44.
My mom is 29 today.
Adele's birthday is today?
Yes.
The Adele.
Yes.
Happy
Correct. She's
birthday.
29 today, I think.
Wow. Gone but not
I
forgotten.
really am old.
Born, happy birthday, Adele. 1919, Richard Scarry was born.
Oh, big fan.
What were his books? I remember. I can see them. What were they called?
Well, around the neighborhood.
I can see them.
Busy.
Like-
Yeah, I can't say. I'm sorry.
Chart toppers.
Rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock, we're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
They were all Richard Scarry's best book
I guess
ever.
that's what it was, yeah.
Richard Scarry's
Yeah.
1955. Bill Haley in the comments. Let's go to 1964, the Dixie Cups, number one.
Going to the chapel and we're going.
Started a little slow for my taste. 1973, Sir Elton John, number one with Manual. Do they continue? Do they continue Ted Lasso, or do they not?
I don't think so.
No.
Because you were making some of the things you were saying without saying. I was trying to like zip up and say because it answers a lot of questions.
It's true. Charlene, number one, but never been to me.
I even liked
it too.
Pretty much season 2 and season 3 ended in the same way. With the new coach of the new team, like looking at the camera.
Color Me Bad. I Want to Sex You Up, number one in 91. Christina Aguilera, I Turn to You, 23 years ago today. Beyonce's Halo, number one, 14 years ago today. I've now heard Halo performed on the harp.
Yeah.
Thanks to the wedding on Friday. I was saying a bunch of things that I bet you never heard. Bet you never heard Taylor Swift on the harp before.
Yeah,
bet you never heard. You have now. Meant to Be, BB Rexa, number one, 5 years ago today. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, there are no traffic jams along the extra mile. There are no traffic jams along the extra mile. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here on Wednesday for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin